Hi guys, it's Ellie and today I have a book haul for you guys. It's going to be a very long one, so I'm just going to get started right away. So I went to a book festival this month and a lot of the books I have to show you today are from that, but I've got 3 festival that I didn't get from the festival. So I'll start with those. The first one I have here I actually got for free. My mum does a lot of work with charity and they're doing a book sale actually this weekend, so we had to go through all the books and photograph them, and my mum got a couple from her friends, so I went through them and picked out some that I've liked. I only got one and I think my mum got about 6. But the one I got was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I already owned a copy of this, but this is a much nicer copy. I just owned an old paperback one, and this is like this beautiful hardback, and technically it was free. And I haven't read this yet, but I am looking forward to it. The next one I got from a publisher, which was Ellen and Unwin, and that is Reboot by Amy Quintero, and this is the first book in the series. I'm really looking forward to this one. My best friend / co-blogger Chammy also got a copy of this, and we had a little screen fest about it, and it's beautiful, and on the side in like the pages it has like this eye thing going on. I've never seen that done, and it looks awesome. I am in a Goodreads group for Australian YA bloggers, and one of the girls in that, one of the bloggers, Joy, who I think writes Thoughts by Joy. Anyway, I'll link her below. She organised a sort of like Secret Santa thing, but for Easter, and I got Champion by Marie Lou, and I got this from Brit at Crash My Book Party, and I'll also link her below because she's awesome and I love her so much for sending this to me, especially because it matches the rest of my trilogy, like in size, because it's a bit bigger than the normal paperback. So I'm really excited. I haven't actually read Prodigy yet, but that's like sitting right behind my camera at the moment. So I think I might marathon this, and I know that Chammy has already read this and she loved it, so I am excited to see where it goes from. Okay, now on to the books I got at the festival. There are 2 I want to show you first that aren't technically new. Already own them and I bought them for the festival. Well, sort of. Because the authors were going to be there and I got to meet them and it was lovely. And the first one I got is Just a Girl by, oh, I don't want to say her name wrong, Kirsten Kroll. This is an adult novel, though a lot of people on Goodreads mark it as YA, but it's not. But I am looking forward to reading it, and I also got it signed. And Kirsten was really lovely, and I got a picture with her and with Nikki Greenberg, who wrote and illustrated The Great Gatsby. This is a graphic novel, and it's got like these weird little like creatures as the characters rather than humans. She also did an adaptation of Hamlet, which looks amazing, and I'm hopefully going to be ordering that as soon as I possibly can. But she also signed that for me, which was awesome, and the talk they did was amazing, and I do have like a tiny little clip of it which I'm going to be putting in my like document your life thing at the end of this month. Okay, now on to the books, the other books that I actually bought this month. I have a couple that I didn't buy at the festival but at other bookshops in like the neighbouring towns. I should probably mention the festival was held in the one town, and there were the bookshelves in the town and then ones up and down the street, like outside and in older buildings. I will start with the ones I didn't buy at the festival. The first one I got is Daughter of Elysium by Joan Slonowski. I have no idea how to say that, and I have started this one. I'm 54 pages in. This is sort of like a sci-fi where they're like cities in like a bubble, and the citizens of Elysium are immortal, but they can't have any children of their own. So it's alright so far, it's a little bit weird. Next I have Dawn of a Dark Age by Jane Welsh. This is the first book in the Book of Man series, trilogy. I don't really know anything about this one except for it's about dragons, and I'm really into fantasy at the moment. Then I also got Shadows by Robert McKinley, and this is secondhand. All of these are secondhand. This was only $10 for a hardback, and usually hardbacks in Australia are more like 25 or 30, so this was amazing, and it's like in perfect condition. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It doesn't look like it's been read. But this is sort of about magic and that sort of thing. I've never read any Robert McKinley, but I'm looking forward to this one. The last two books I have not from the festival, are The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and this was $12, which even for a paperback of like this size is really cheap for here. I don't really know what this is about, except for that it's set in the future. It's set in 2059 in London, and I've heard really good reviews of this. The only thing that's wrong with it is that it has a little bit of a stain on the bottom. Someone's like put it in food or something, but otherwise it's perfect. And then finally, this one was $8, and that is Between the Lives by Jessica Shervington. I met Jessica like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she was amazing. This was the only book of hers that I didn't own, that I haven't read. At the bookshop where she was doing the signing, it was $20 or $22 for this book. So like this was only $8, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I didn't think I'd really enjoy this one because I'm not really into contemporary that much. But when at the talk, the way Jessica talked about it sounded amazing, and it's not really contemporary. It's a bit like sort of like sci-fi-ish. So I'm really looking forward to it now. Okay, now on to the books I actually bought at the festival. The first one I have is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I've heard about this one a lot on Goodreads lately. I'm on BookTube lately, and it looks really good, and the spine of this book is amazing. So if I end up not liking it, at least the spine is gorgeous. Next I actually bought a few like true story sort of things, which I don't usually buy, but this one, whoa, it's heavy, is Audrey, Her Real Story by Alexander Walker, and this is about Audrey Hepburn, obviously. I love Audrey like more than life. I think she's gorgeous. She's my favourite actress. And my favourite movie of hers is Roman Holiday, though Breakfast at Tiffany's is a very close second. This was $5 and it's pretty beat up. Like, it's an old library book and that. Another sort of like, it's not really a biography or a true story, but it kind of is. And that is The Lost Memories of Jane Austen by Siri James. I've never read any Austen. I've half read Northanger Abbey, but I haven't finished it yet. But this looked interesting, and I got a free bookmark with it because someone left their bookmark in this book. The other true story I have is Falling Leaves by Adeline Yen Ma. I read Chinese Cinderella, which is the children's version of this, for school when I was 14, and I actually really liked it, which I didn't like many of the books that we read in school. But yeah, I really like this one. So when I found this one for $2, I thought I would give it a go. As part of my lit class 2 years ago, we read 1984 and Brave New World and a bunch of like dystopian sort of things, and we had to do like a comparison of one of them, and I picked The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and I really enjoyed that. So I thought I would buy another Margaret Atwood, and I bought The Blind Assassin. And this was also $2, and it's a massive book. It's a little bit like old, like the pages are yellowed and that sort of thing, but otherwise it's in perfect condition. And I don't really know anything about this except for it's supposed to be good. And then I also bought a classic, and this is Le Grand. I've never encountered that word in French before. I did French for like 5 years and I never saw that word. But it is apparently sort of translated as The Wanderer. And this is by Alain Fournier. Anyway, this is obviously translated from French. And I don't really know what it's about. I follow this one French actor that I like. And he did a movie of this, which I haven't seen, but I am interested to read the book so I can watch it. And died in 1914 at the age of 27 in World War I. He was killed in action, which makes me sad. And this is the only book. So the next one I have is White Tiger by Kylie Chan. And this is the first book in the Dark Heavens trilogy. I have been looking for this one for ages, and I can always find books 2 and 3, but I could never find book 1. This one was also $5, but they didn't, which, I mean, it's an old library copy, so it's a little bit expensive, but they don't have it on any website. I couldn't even find it on iTunes. Actually, I think I could, but it was like $16 and I wasn't going to pay that. They didn't even have it at my library, so $5 is pretty good for that. The next one is also sort of set, that one's set in like Hong Kong, and this one is set in China, and that is Inheritance by Lan Samantha Chang. This is an adult one as well. And this is about 2 sisters in 20th century China, and it's sort of like a family drama sort of thing, which I don't usually read. I don't usually read adult, but I thought I would give it a go. Now the next, or the last 4 books I have are all YA, which is, you know, I think one might actually be sort of like middle grade, but anyway, the first one I have is The Book of Blood and Shadow by Robin Wasserman. Yep. I don't know anything about this one either. It looks like it's kind of a murder mystery sort of thing. Maybe paranormal, maybe a little bit fantasy, but it looks interesting, and this was only $2 as well. And it's a little bit bent, but that's it. Next, I have Liar by Justine Labellistier. She is the co-editor of Zombies and Unicorns, or Zombies vs. Unicorns with Holly Black. And she's married to Scott Westerfeld, which I didn't know. But that's awesome because I love Scott Westerfeld. So I'm really excited for this one now. And that was only $2. Oh no, that one was $4. This one was only $2, and that is High Society by Ellie Carter. Chami really likes the other series that she writes, which is the Caligo Girls. And I've heard a lot of people say really good things about this one, so I thought I would give it a go. And the final book I have for this haul is Blaze of Glory by Michael Pryor, and this is the first book in the Laws of Magic, and this one was $2, and it's got this weird, like, it looks like someone's just like flicked coffee at it or something. I saw a better copy of this, but it was $8, and I didn't want to pay $8 for it in case I didn't like it. But yeah, I've heard really good things about this one, so I am excited to read it. And that was my book haul for today. I'm about to film another video in the same top, so sorry about that. But that will be up on Friday. So I haven't done videos in a little while, which is why this video, this week, will have 2 videos up. Yeah. And I've got a couple pre-filmed for the next 2 weeks. So I will see you guys then. Bye.